Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Piofiore on Dante's route. We're quite surprised by my bodyguard's proficiency. Pleasantly surprised, in fact. I really wish he had a route. And I found a new walkthrough, which seems to be better. The old one was just really confusing, but I'm not sure if I'm already on the wrong path or not. I mean, we're definitely on Dante's route, but I'm not sure if we're going to get the good ending first or anything. But we shall see. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Oh, sorry if I'm a little sinusy today. Leo was a lot faster than I was. I couldn't keep pace with his speed.
Just a little longer.
If that were me, I'd have been dead in like 7 seconds. Leo urged me on and turned the corner.
Whoa!
We ran right into a person the moment we turned the corner.
What the? You're that Falzone kid. Watch where you're going.
Marco! Just who we needed.
What are you doing here, Lily? And why the big rush?
Help! We're being chased!
Chased? By whom? You two, hide over there.
In an alley? We ran into the side alley that Marco pointed to. I don't even see anything to hide behind. I always thought alleys aren't really the best hiding places. I mean, I guess sometimes people don't look to the sides, but sometimes they do. And if you don't have barrels or something to hide behind,
Where the hell are they? I don't see them around.
Marco and Roberto walked toward the Lao Shu in pursuit of us.
Hey, what's with all this ruckus? You're an orca, so keep it down, will ya? Huh? Who the hell are you?
Can't you tell just by the way he's dressed? I mean, he's got the stereotypical rumpled detective trench coat. The jaded old man thing.
Wait, aren't they... We're the police. How about we have a little chat down at the station? We ain't got any of them Chinese teas, but we can at least serve you some free coffee.
With the police in sight, the Lao Shu quickly turned on their heels and ran away. Alright, we can go see this alternate scene here. Miss. From Dante's point of view, Leo, Lily, and a few others were the only ones at the manor. Oh, not exactly. Most of the Falzone family moved out to lay siege against the Lao Shu, but... Not a single rat in sight. Sorry, Dante. Looks like my intel wasn't right this time. That's not a good sign. Who's betrayed us? So it seems. Something doesn't feel right. We were handed false information. If so, who are they? Somewhere not good, I'm sure. With the police in sight, the Lao Shu quickly turned on their heels and ran away. We breathed a sigh of relief from the alley after seeing them disappear. With the Lao Shu gone, Marco and Roberto came into the alley.
So, what is going on here? Those guys were with the Lao Shu.
Yeah, you should know well enough. You know, there's always conflict between gangs.
Ugh.
Leo and I looked at each other with grim expressions. We were suddenly ambushed by them. We don't know what's going on.
I can't imagine this being your fault.
That's right. I'm so innocent looking. Roberto surprisingly let me off the hook. Then he glared at Leo with a frown. Oh no. Poor Leo.
I'm guessing that you were approached by them because you're with the Falzone. We should escort her back to church, Marco. It's not safe for her to be with the Mafia.
Well, it's not safe for me to be at the church either. I was almost kidnapped there once. I'd probably be safer at the police station, wouldn't I?
I can't let you do that. I need to bring her back to the manor.
Or it'll be his job.
What? Back to your place? I don't know what's going on here, but I do know that the Lao Shu will be back. If they approached you folks when you didn't do anything, and they must have had their reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if they were still waiting in the wings to pounce on you.
Yep.
Well...
Leo pondered for a bit, then turned to me with a stern look on his face.
If I'm alone, I can get back to the manor no matter what they have in store. So let me go back myself and get the car. I'll come for you, so do you mind waiting?
Sure, I won't weigh you down. I pondered for a bit and came to a decision. But I have to say, it's too dangerous. Stick with me, kid. I pursed my lips and kept quiet. I couldn't possibly just send Leo off with a smile.
Don't worry, I'll be back real quick.
No, Leo, it's too dangerous. Why don't we just borrow the phone at the police station and call for a ride?
But if we do that, the boss might find out we left the mansion without his permission.
Well, still better safe than sorry.
I'm fine being yelled at, but I can't bear to think of you being reprimanded.
I can deal with it. Leo.
Don't worry, I'll be right back.
No! You better listen to me. Okay. I'm giving in. No. Leo was smiling at me, so I reluctantly agreed to his plan. Please, be careful, Leo.
No worries at all.
But I am worried.
May I ask you both to take care of her while I'm gone? I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's better than sending me to the church, at least.
Got it. They won't bother her at our station. It's close by, so it'll be a safe trip down.
Roberto's like, are you volunteering me for babysitting duty?
Thank you very much. Well, I'll be right back.
Careful, Leo. With that, Leo turned around and ran off toward False. I saw him run off with a prayer for his safety.
I don't know what you're going through, but you need to get yourself away from them.
Yeah, easier said than done, number one, but where am I supposed to go? Roberto gave me a stern warning, and Marco lightly jabbed him in the shoulder.
Robbie, rule number 1 for survival here. Don't get involved if you don't know what's happening.
Exactly. Roberto didn't say anything in response, but it was clear that he wasn't very pleased. I think it's best if I don't say why I'm with the Falzone. With nothing for me to say, I followed Marco to the station. I don't know if it would help to tell the police or not. Kind of a crapshoot. We were approaching the police station when we noticed tension in the air. The police seemed to be controlling traffic. Why are they directing? What's going on? One of the officers steering traffic noticed us, then ran toward Marco. Oh no! Did they get Leo when he was driving?
What? Did something happen? A Lao Shu is barring the entrance. If you don't mind, please go in through the back. They're doing what? The Lao Shu, here. Marco, can I go to defuse the situation? I'll show them not to toy with the police. Go for it, but don't overdo it, you hear?
I don't know about this.
I'll do my best.
Roberto, please be careful.
You don't have to worry about me.
I don't know if I get a route with him either. He deserves a route too. Everybody, don't draw them so beautifully if they can't have a route. Roberto turned and quickly headed to the entrance. Well, I'm still in the alley? Why don't they take me to the police station? Marco and I went into the alley that led to the back of the station. Ah, I see. The back. Oh no, and that was a bad choice. There was a man standing in the way. All he was doing was standing there, but I could tell he was no ordinary person. He looks like a J-pop idol.
The Lao Shus.
That's right. Beads of sweat appeared on Marco's forehead. He put his hand to his gun and slowly backed away. Is that... Yes, it is. But there's a meanwhile story, so we'll come back to this. Fret. It's probably going to be Leo, right? Leo, what's going on? Oh, just others. Huh. Actually, that sounds like it's Leo, so right.
Fortunately, I didn't run into any of the Lao Shu on my way back to the manor. Just when I arrived.
Oh no, you were too slow.
Boss! He must have returned from his mission. I could see the boss, Nicola, and the other members of the family around. What's the hurry there, Leo?
Trouble.
I hesitated for a second. Well, knowing that her safety was the priority, I disclosed to the boss what happened. I took Lily outside. We were attacked by the Lao Shu on our way back from church, so she's with the police now. Understood. Get in the car now. Dante, you don't need to go. Let us take care of...
The boss calmly gave orders to the men, despite Nicola's attempt to intervene.
Domenico, you and 10 others stay here. Nicola, contact Paris. I suspect we'll need some cover. Understood.
He knows what he's up against. Nicola raised his brow at the boss's orders, but still nodded in agreement. Suspecting that all those people that he couldn't find are going to be where he doesn't want them.
Get in the car, Leo. We're leaving. Understood. We arrived at the police station and ran inside through the entrance.
Oh no, I'm already gone.
What are you planning? Are you trying to free your members behind bars? I could hear shouting from the interrogation room. The officer was causing quite a ruckus. Come to think of it, there was a weird tension in the air along the street leading up to here. Where is she? She's not here. Let me go and ask. There should be a blonde girl here. Have you seen her? Huh? I haven't seen anyone like that come in here. Huh? Where's Marco? Marco's on his rounds and hasn't returned yet. Is there something you need from him?
Yes, the blonde girl.
Have you noticed anything strange around here? There was a Lao Shu causing problems earlier, but not sure if anything else was going on besides that. To be honest, we're having more problems in here than whatever's going on outside. Wait, where did it go? I heard yelling from the back there. Isn't that the young officer who just came back? Oh, you mean Roberto? Yeah, Roberto. If he's here, we'd like to talk to him. Sure, but you'll have to wait a bit. He's questioning someone right now.
Oh no.
Wait, you don't have time to be waiting.
Oh, Dante's concerned. He knows we're too late.
While I was yelling here, it looked like the boss was thinking about something.
Is that... I think I know who that is. Just don't kill the old man, please. But why wouldn't someone like him be here? The person in front of me rarely appeared in public. He was Valeno's...
I see. It seems like I don't need to introduce myself here. But I believe this country shows respect toward their women, no?
I could tell he was mocking us. He took a step forward. Marco moved in front of me and yelled,
Not a step closer. What do you want? Shut up, you're not worth my time.
He gave a stern and cold command to Marco. All the while his eyes were gazing at me.
You can call me Yang.
Yang. So he's Yang, the leader of the Lao Shu. I felt a shiver go down my spine hearing him confirm his identity. We're in trouble.
To think he'd be an orca.
Marco seemed quite flustered as he kept his guard up against Yang. I heard rumors of the Lao Shu before, but seeing him now put everything together. I want to run away, but I felt like he'd kill me the moment I turned my back to him. There was something about his presence that made me certain of it. No, because you're like the key maiden. Why would he kill you? Sounds kind of like I'm needed.
In case you didn't know.
The Falzone have been a bit of a nuisance to me lately. We Lao Shu are really in quite the predicament. His smile was playful, despite what he was saying, all the while keeping his eyes on me. Most of our work has been thwarted by the Falzone. Oh, they did a good job with their last strike. No boats means less work for me. But aside from getting in work's way, they've been busy getting rid of my men. Now my members have dwindled to nearly half of what I had before. In fact, my good friend who's been with me since the Galalung Sengzai days came back as only a head. That couldn't have been pleasant. But in gangs, the longevity of a relationship doesn't necessarily mean closeness. He chuckled, seeing my reaction. He was killed like a bug in a faraway country, who will never see his homeland again. Don't you feel sorry for my men? I couldn't answer his question. He continued speaking without waiting for a response that would never come. Which is why the Lao Shu cannot simply cower and wait for such a misery to befall them. I'd like to show my thanks to the Falzone. And the key to that is you, Liliano Adorato. With neither of us able to speak, Yang finally ended his theatrical display. All he did was talk to us, but a fear unlike any I'd ever experienced before crept up upon me.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've got other business at hand, so we'll have to excuse ourselves.
He spoke to Yang in a firm voice and grabbed my hand to move out. I hope you have a gun.
What's the rush?
His cold smile was now accompanied with a unique sword in his hand. Chinese hook sword. I know those well. Marco covered me, stepping forward. He reached into his vest to grab his gun. Good thing you have one.
Stop right there.
Dante! Thank goodness.
Lily, thank God you're safe.
And you too, Leo.
The keepers of the grave. How delightful. How do you know that name? It's not just the name. I also know what role the key maiden holds. How do you know that? Simple. I want to receive the blessing that this land has been given as well.
That doesn't explain how he knows.
I see. It looks like you know more than you need to.
Dante shot at Yang's legs, but Yang quickly dodged the bullet.
So, you won't let those with the information live. I think I like your style.
Yang laughed and closed in, swinging his sword down like a whip on Dante's arm. Dante dodged the blade quickly and pointed his gun again at his target. But before the trigger could be pulled, Yang stepped within range to strike with his blade. Dante kicked Yang to create distance, but Yang took the hit with the side of his blade, meaning he blocked. Dante!
Leo, Marco, now! Understood! Leave her to us.
Get me out of here! The two pulled me and took cover along the walls. We kept watching the ensuing fight. What if all the other Lao Shu were around here because they weren't where they were supposed to be? This could still be a problem.
You're not serious, are you? This isn't good.
Yang seemed to be mumbling something amidst the shots aimed at him.
It's not going to do me any favors if you all die now.
Sounds like he has plans. Long-term plans. He avoided the shots, and in the blink of an eye closed in right next to Dante. But at least he's not planning to kill him. Dante tried to kick again, but this time Yang grabbed his leg with his arms.
Oh, wait. I can't use my sword like this. I'll let you go. Don't trip, all right? Why you?
Dante swung his fist at Yang's head, but Yang simply dodged and moved back. He then raised his sword. No! Wait, why am I still here?
Dante!
It was then that Nicola appeared with the other members of the Falzone family. Where were you guys?
More? This is getting a bit too tiring for my tastes. Guess I can leave now, since I've been sufficiently entertained by the looks on your faces.
Without any worries to speak of, Yang turned nimbly and ran off.
After him! He must be killed!
The family nodded at Nicola's command. After seeing Yang in person, I couldn't imagine him being killed so easily.
After just seeing him?
It was clear how tired everyone was upon returning to the Falzone manor. Julia greeted us with a smile and tended to our needs.
Oh my! You all look so tired. Let me get something warm to... I'll be stepping out again, so you can skip me. Very busy, aren't you, Nicola? Well, why don't you at least take a cup of coffee for now? I'll be back by nightfall, so maybe then. Thank you, Julia.
I feel like Nicola's doing a lot of the work in this route.
Understood. Please do let me know when you return.
Nicola smiled back at Julia, and she left the salon.
Leo, I need to talk to you. In private. Understood.
Oh, he's gonna get chewed out. It's my fault. Please, don't be too harsh on Leo. I'm so sorry. Before I could say something, the two left the salon. Nicola shrugged and mumbled.
Here comes the scolding.
Huh? What, you didn't know? You couldn't tell?
I mean, Leo did take you out without permission, you know. To add, we have Yang coming out of the woodwork. If Dante didn't show up, you'd be dead by now.
But Leo did what he did for me. I need to speak with Dante. I need to be reamed out at the same time.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Nicola kindly tried to stop me, but I was already running out of the room by then. It's my responsibility to... With no one else in the salon, Nicola took a deep breath and sighed.
Ah, kids. Julia isn't going to be happy when she sees there's no one here to serve coffee to. What, the rest of the family's not around anywhere?
Dante! It was the first and possibly only time that I slammed the door open to Dante's office.
I'm busy. Stay outside.
I was the one who said I wanted to see Sister Sophia at church. Leo just complied with my wishes. I'm the one who's at fault here. I haven't seen Dante look at me like that before. Upon seeing the intensity of his expression, I couldn't help but take a step back in surprise.
I thought I told you not to leave here. We have you in our custody to protect you from the dangers lurking outside.
But I know that, and...
No, you don't. Do you know what could have happened if we didn't get there in time? You could have been killed, or worse. Do you even know what you've gotten into?
Very, very vaguely. I couldn't say a word. I haven't seen him this angry before. He's angrier than when I tried to escape from the balcony before. Seeing him like this was making me shiver.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I didn't think of the repercussions.
It's both your faults. You two are both being idiots. You don't take risks like that when there's danger like that. Leo bowed down in apology to Dante. Dante walked in front of Leo.
Stand up straight.
Did you just slap him? Dante's palm struck Leo squarely on the cheek. Leo faltered, but he still held his ground.
And next time, think before you act.
With that, Dante turned his back to Leo and returned to his desk. Is that all?
Understood. Forgive me. I'll excuse myself, signore.
Leo gave a deep bow to Dante in appreciation, then exited the office. With Dante sitting in his chair in silence, I decided to apologize to Dante yet again. I'm sorry, Dante, let's see. Wanted to learn what the key maiden was. Want to know what the big deal is. You asking if I knew what I was getting into, or what I got into, and I don't, so I'm trying to find out. I wanted to learn what the key maiden was. I think it refers to me, but it was unsettling to not know what it means. So I thought maybe Sister Sophia knew what it was, and...
You left the manor to find out. And did you get what you wanted?
I shook my head in response to Dante's stern questioning. Well, if you had just told me everything in the first place, I wouldn't have to do these things. No, I didn't get anything. Sister Sophia told me that she wouldn't say, since you haven't told me yet. I guess she thinks Dante knows best. It was then that I realized that I hadn't asked you about it in person yet. You're always so busy, so I couldn't find the opportunity to ask. When I spoke with Nicola, he seemed to want to avoid talking about it. So I figured you wouldn't let me know what it was either.
Did Nicola tell you anything?
Only to not speak of it again, and that there were some things he couldn't explain. Dante took a deep breath, as if trying to regain his calm.
I suppose it's my fault for explaining myself enough.
Exactly.
I understand that you may be anxious or feeling scared about your situation.
Dante looked away briefly, with a hint of agony and hesitation on his face.
But I don't explain to you certain things because it's for your own good.
Why don't you just lie then and satisfy my curiosity by misleading me or something, but you don't just leave me like, oh, it's for your own good that you don't know. And then it just makes them curious and makes them want to disobey.
It would have been best for you to live your life without knowing certain things, which is why I'm still hesitant to share what I know with you.
Just tell me. His azure eyes expressed his hesitation. I looked into them to plead my case. I want to know what is going on because it concerns me. I understand that you're trying to protect me, and I appreciate what you're doing. But now that I know that this key maiden has something to do with me, I want to know what that is and think for myself what to do. Dante listened to my plea and let out a tiny but gentle smile.
Lily.
Immediately after he said my name, clamor ensued outside the manor. Ah, we were just getting somewhere. Do you mind? We're trying to have a conversation, people. It has nothing to do with this. Continue, Dante. Chapter 5. Assaliori. Inside the office, sounds of shouting could be heard from outside. I looked at Dante to see if he knew what was happening. What's going on?
Boss, it's an emergency.
Don't bother us.
Leo, I thought I told you to knock. I'm sorry, but it's urgent. We're being attacked.
Gosh darn it. Attacked?
How many?
Well, they work fast.
One?
One? What? Is it Orlok?
Take care of it then.
How is one person causing this much ruckus?
We're trying, but he's too strong. He knocked out Domenico. What? Pietro and Giacomo are holding down the fort for now, but they said to come get you out of here. Evacuate. Don't be foolish.
For one person? What the heck? Dante stood up from his seat, his gun in hand, and prepared to step out.
I'll go. Leo, you stay here and guard her. I knew you'd say that, boss. But you can't.
Leo blocked the door to keep Dante from leaving.
The enemy could be after you, boss.
No, they're probably after me.
That's why we need you to escape to a safe location. Leo, do you think I'd be killed so easily?
Not so easily, but apparently this guy's making quick work of your men out there.
Of course not. But no, I won't let you go.
I knew something terrible was happening. With each gunshot I heard from below, a sense of fear slowly came over me. I couldn't hide my pale complexion, and the fear was causing my body to shiver. Oh, he looked surprised. Seeing me visibly shaken, Dante's azure eyes widened. Leo looked where Dante was looking, and noticed me as well before speaking again.
That's right. You need to protect her, boss.
Now he's going to use me as the excuse.
Leo, you take her and... No, I'll take her with me.
There you go. Huh?
Yes, please do, boss. Let's go, Lily.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, it's probably me or Dante that they're here for. So, better for us to flee together. Yes. I couldn't keep up with the events going on around me, but I decided to go with Dante. Leo followed us from behind. Dante stopped suddenly, then extended his arm out in front of me to tell me to stop. Orlok. A young man was standing in our way, holding a dagger. You're
that man from before.
If you recall, I was interrupted earlier. Which is why I'm here to speak with you. But first, I need you to come with me. Don't be afraid. That night, he appeared at the church to take me, and now he's standing in front of us again. He stared at me as if Dante and Leo weren't there. Lily Adornato, I need to speak with you. Me? Yes, I am a disciple of the church. That's not what it looked like when you came to kidnap me that night. A disciple? Dante stepped in front of me to block me from the young man.
And an uninvited guest who doesn't belong here.
Dante Falzone, are you going to get in my way? Yep.
Of course. You expected me to let you go.
Then I need to silence you. The young man charged with his dagger before even finishing his sentence.
Boss!
Leo jumped in between them to shield Dante. The dagger slashed Leo across the arm. Get out of my way. I came to speak with her.
Don't be ridiculous. Do you seriously think you can get away with what you've done here?
If you're going to get in my way, I have no other choice but to fight. Oh, wait! I hurriedly called to the young man in an attempt to prevent any further bloodshed. The young man looked at me quietly with his colored eyes. I could say, I don't trust you, which I definitely don't. I don't know this guy. We don't even know his name yet. But actually, we're going to stop there. This might be a short one, but it's because I had some technical difficulties, and, I need to, flush my sinuses or something. So, I'll see you all hopefully soon in the next video. Sorry I'm cutting out so quick, but Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.